everyone, this is Crystal and I'm back to work in my 2018 Week in the Life album. So this is the album I'm using. I have a video that walks through everything I'm using for this album. I'll be sure to link that below. Today I'm working on my title page and on Monday. So I'm going to start with my title page and then work through Monday. I have my photos printed out here and ready to go, and all my supplies are here. So I'm just gonna put you on fast forward and get started. So I'm going to start by just pulling out the pages for Monday and setting those aside, and that way I have them out of my album and they're a bit easier to work with. And then I'm going to work on my title page. So I have a printable from Brandy Kincaid. This is something she shared, I think, on her blog last year. If I can find it, I'll be sure to link it down below. But she creates a title page for Week in the Life, I think pretty much every year for at least the last few years, and then shares it on her blog for free, and that's what this is. So I printed that out last year. I talked about this in my other video, and it's just been sitting there waiting for me to use it. So I'm just trimming it down. I want it in the album outside of the page protector, so I'm making sure that I'm getting it the right size. So it'll sit at the beginning of my album. It'll be the size of a page protector, but it won't actually be in a page protector. So getting it all trimmed out. And then I also have another thing I printed out. This is actually one of the journal cards. I'm not sure which kit it's from, but I will link all of them down below. And I just enlarged it in Photoshop and then added my journaling in the white space. So I just talk about my intentions, but a year out. So I wrote this now. I didn't have anything written from last year. So I wrote about how I wish I had written down more. I wish I had taken better notes. I really didn't. I normally do. I'm normally very good about it, but last year I just didn't. So this is an album from the perspective of a year later, which is better than nothing. It's better than not having it at all. I certainly wish I had done better and kept better notes, but I didn't. So I just adhered those two together, and you could see I put one on top of the other before I trimmed it all the way, just so I could make sure that all of the edges lined up perfectly. And then I used one of the page protectors to mark where the holes went and used a 6-hole punch to punch that out. And now I'm just going to embellish the top of my intentions page a little bit. So I have a little die cut from the Make It Matter kit and some labels, and I'm just going to layer them up. I'm actually going to adhere the label directly to the page and then use some foam to pop up that little Make It Matter die cut. Because it's not in a pocket, I have a little bit more flexibility with dimension, and I can add a bit more to it. So I take advantage of that and add some pretty thick foam to it. But first, before it becomes too hard to deal with this side of the page, I just want to add the dates. So I'm looking for a label that I like, and I thought about layering up a couple of them, but they weren't matching up quite right. So I'm just going to use this one and then grab my date stamp and some black ink and just stamp the beginning and ending dates of this week. And this was a week in May, just like this year. Last year's Week in the Life was at the beginning of May. So I'm just stamping out those dates, and then I'll adhere that Make It Matter die cut with the foam adhesive. So doing the journaling like this was a bit of a challenge, just because it is a year later, and it's going to continue to be a challenge as I work through this album because, like I said, I didn't have any notes, and normally I do. But I do remember a lot. The pictures, of course, help spark memories quite a bit, and I'm able to talk a little bit about it. I do use a planner, so I had that, so I was able to at least know why we were in certain places at certain times. But generally, there's not going to be a whole lot of journaling, certainly not as much as I normally add. So for the beginning of Monday, I've done the same thing. I've taken a journal card from one of the Brandy Kincaid kits from Feature Craft, and I resized it in Photoshop to be 6x8. It was one that had a large white space at the bottom. So I've also taken my silhouette and cut some days of the week. So these are actually digital stamps from Ali Edwards that I purchased the first time I did Week in the Life, which would have been 2016. So I'm not sure if they were new then or if they were just something in her shop at that time. But it's her handwriting and it's all the days of the week. So I've cut them out of black cardstock using my silhouette And I've cut 2 of each one so that I can stack them on top of each other, and that will just give them a little bit more weight, a little bit more heft, make them look like they're something a little bit more substantial. They're not quite as thick as, say, a chipboard or wood veneer piece would be, but it does add a little bit of shadow behind them, which is what I was going for. So I'm just using a glue pen to adhere those together, and then the same glue pen to add the stack of die cuts to the bottom of this card. Like I said, it's in 6x8 now. It is going inside of a pocket, so I did make it just exactly 6x8. And then I play around with it a bit because I'm not real happy with the amount of white space that is at the bottom of this card. So I look through my stamps, I look through some of the embellishments that I pull out. I thought about a couple different things that I could do. I thought about adding some phrases or some stamps, like I said, but I can't make up my mind. I just keep thinking about it. So I'm going to move on for now and come back to that in a little bit. Yep, still thinking about maybe some stickers, just not sure yet. So I'm going to slip it in the pocket and come back to that page after I've done the others. So this is what my Monday looks like. It's quite a few pages. I had quite a few pictures, and since I don't have much journaling to add, I just went ahead and added pretty much all the pictures that I had, with the exception of any duplicates. And I'm starting now with the journal cards. So these are all the journal cards I've printed out so far for using in this album. They're all from Brandy Kincaid, all from Feed Your Craft. Most of them are digitals that I printed out. Some of them are from physical kits that I purchased. And I only have room for one 4x6 card, so I'm starting there and looking through the cards that I have, trying to figure out which one I want to use in this spot. And I'm going to go with that green one. And that is actually from one of the kits I purchased the physical copy of. So it is from Mark Your Place. And now I'm going to go through all of the 3x4 cards and do the same thing. So this process does take quite a long time because there are so many pages. My total video time was just over an hour before I edited it and cut it down a little bit to make it watchable for all of you. But I wanted to keep this in because, for one thing, it lets you see what the options were and why I chose what I did. And also, it's just part of the process, right? I don't want to sugarcoat it. It does take time to do these things. So I've chosen 2 for this first page, and now I'm going to move on and choose some for the rest. So like I said, going to go through all of the journal cards and put them in place first before I go back and start embellishing. And this kind of helps. It's kind of like batch processing. So it keeps all of the journal cards fresh in my mind. I can think about which ones I might want to use. I don't have to start all over each time, put these away, get out all the embellishments, etc. It just makes it a bit easier, a bit quicker to work through this way. It still takes some time, but it's maybe not as much time as it would have if I had done each page separately. So I'm going to try and tell you which kit all of these are from. So I have quite a few kits here. Like I said, I've basically been hoarding all of these kits for a few years now, and getting them used finally feels really good, actually. But when I start working through each page individually, I'll tell you where all of these cards are from so that you can go pick them up yourself if you want to. All of the kits are still available digitally. I think the only one that's still available as a physical kit is the most recent, the high and low kit, but the rest are available digitally. And I do have a video about how I print them. It was posted yesterday, I believe, so you can go and watch that to see how I get good quality prints from the digital kits at home. Okay, so still working through finding all of the 3x4 cards that I want. Because these kits coordinate so well together, I don't really have to worry too much about getting matching colors. They all work really well together. Mostly I'm just thinking about the distribution of color. So if I have very colorful photos, I may go with a more neutral card. If I have lots of blue on one side, I want to be sure to bring a little bit of blue to the other side, that sort of thing. That's really the only other thing I'm considering other than the actual content. If there's a sentiment, I want to make sure that it actually works with the photos that are on that day's spread. So there you go, those are all of the cards, and now I can finally start embellishing. So I've pulled out the first spread out of the pocket so that I can work it with them a little bit more easily. And I'm going to start just adhering down this photo. It's the only one that wasn't a full page photo, so I added a card behind it. And that one is from Mark Your Place. So that was one of the only kits that I purchased the actual physical copy of. The rest are mostly digital. The Making Sunshine card is from the Glass Half Full kit. That was a digital kit that I purchased. The die cuts that I'm using here, the ones that are already out on the desk, those are from the Glass Half Full kit as well. And I use a few of those on this spread, including that sunshine. The other kit that I had out, that one was the Inside and Out kit, or the embellishments at least from that kit. So now I'm just looking at the stamps, seeing if there's any stamps I want to add. I'm using that Making Sunshine card to refer to the coffee making that's happening in the photo next to it. And I want to make that very clear by putting some other kind of icon or sticker or something that references coffee on that Making Sunshine card. So I was looking for a stamp. I thought maybe there might be a sticker or a phrase sticker I could use. But I ended up finding a coffee cup in one of these collections, and that's what I ended up going with. But not before I look through pretty much everything else first. I do also want to add another sticker to the top of that top photo, and that one says Daily Chores. It's just a photo of my allergy medicine that I take every day, so that seemed appropriate to me. And now I'm looking for that coffee bit. I thought maybe there would be something in one of these little word strips. I knew that there was some references to meals and things in these, so I thought maybe there was a coffee one, but I couldn't find one. But I do end up finding a coffee cup in the Inside and Out, the embellishments right there. So while I have that out, I'm just looking through the rest of the embellishments to see if there's anything else I can use, and just to kind of familiarize myself with what is in that little pile. And then I'm going to adhere this down, and that, I believe, is going to be it for this spread. Yes, I'm just going to put those back in the page protector and then pull out the next 4 cards. So here is the next page. I have 2 journal cards on this page. The top one that says Show and Tell is from the Show and Tell kit. And then the one on the bottom that I am using right now is just a little pink bordered one from the Glass Half Full kit. So for embellishments on this page, I'm going to use some of these puffy stickers. These are from the Mark Your Place kit. Again, that was one of the physical kits that I purchased, so I got the puffy stickers that came with it. And I want to use this one that says Read on the photo of the book that I was reading this week. I thought that was pretty appropriate. And then I want something else to go on the bottom of this food photo at the top, so I'm going to choose this little it's a little label with a floral border from the Glass Half Full kit. And then I'm going to also add one of these stickers from Citrus Twist kits. It says My Day. I'm going to use it on the photo of my my calendar, my planning. So I had out my Get to Work book, and I was comparing it with my work calendar to see what my week was going to look like. So I thought this My Day sticker would work pretty well on that, but I wanted it to stand out a bit more, and I wanted a little bit more color, so I backed it with one of the circle die cuts from one of the kits, and I'm not sure which one it was, but it's pink, and it just makes that black sticker pop off of that photo a bit better. So now I'm going to embellish this last photo, and I'm looking through the die cuts again from the Inside and Out kit, and there was one on a little banner that says Trying is an Art, and this is a photo of the outfit I was wearing to work that day, and it's kind of unusual for me not to just wear t-shirts and jeans to work at this point, so I was trying to make a bit more of an effort, so I thought that little sentiment would work well for this. And then I just added a little floral oval die cut as well. And I think that is going to do it. So I'm not adding my journaling yet. I'm going to come back in the end and add it after I finish filming, just so you don't have to watch that whole process. But I will show you in the end what that looks like. Oh, before I finished, I added one of those little circle chipboard pieces that I created from the Circle printables, which I talk about in my how I print video, to that food photo. It's just of a knife, fork, and spoon, so I thought that worked well with the food. So next, on to the next set of 4 cards. So I have 2 cards on this one. The top one is from the Moments flat pack, and it just says "Life Right Now" repeated on the top part of the card. And then the bottom one is a colorful little hexagon pattern. That one is from the Glass Half Full kit. I also added a die cut of a bag of tea that says "You Can Handle This." I believe that one was from the Glass Half Full kit as well. And then I'm just going to look through the rest of these die cuts. I only have these 2 kits pulled out so far. It just makes it a little bit easier if I can narrow things down. I did get pretty overwhelmed having all of these supplies out and at my fingertips, so it helped to narrow things down just a little bit. So this Small Steps circle die cut is from the Inside and Out kit, and I'm going to add that to the top photo of my tea at work. And I added a little strip also from that same die cut set to the bottom photo of my dog Abby. I did find a little phrase strip from that bunch of Citrus Twist kits, word strips, and it said Monday. I do like to note what day I'm in on each page of the spread, or each spread of the day's layouts. So I like to add something that says Monday or Tuesday or whatever, and that one worked well on this photo. And that's really going to be it for this one. I am trying to keep things pretty simple just because I have a lot to work through here. So moving on to the next 4 photos, or actually 3 photos and a filler card. That filler card is from Inside and Out, and the card I'm working on right now is from Show and Tell. I added a little die cut to that says "I Am Here." That's from the Glass Half Full kit. And I think I'm looking for some of the word strips and the little labels from the Ali Edwards kit leftovers that I have. Just seeing, I was pretty sure there was one that said lunch, and there's a photo of my lunch in the top left corner, so I wanted to be sure I found that to add here. And I added that on just a little kind of grid label, and I don't remember what kit that one is from. And then I'm going to add a little label that says "Today," or a little word strip that says "Today" from the Inside and Out kit to the top of that card. I really liked how the orange and blue contrasted together. So for the photo of basically my steering wheel, I remembered that there was a die cut in the new High and Low kit that said "On Our Way," so I thought that would work for this car photo. So I added it to a little label just to make it stand out a bit more on this dark photo. And then that is pretty much it for the spread. So going to add those back to the pockets and move on to the next 4 photos. Or again, actually it's 3 photos. So I had a 4x6 photo and 2 smaller ones. I'm adding this square photo to the card that says "Put Your Feet Up." And that is from Inside and Out. And then I'm going to add a die cut to the bottom photo. That one says something like "Perfectly Imperfect," positively imperfect in every way. I added it to another little circle die cut from the Glass Half Full kit just to make it stand off of that photo a bit more, give it a bit more weight on the photo. I'm going to add one of these puffy stickers that says this right here to the photo of my nap, but it just needed something to, again, make it stand off of the photo. A lot of my photos are really dark from this week, so I'm adding a lot of labels behind the embellishments to give them some white space to make them not just blend into the photos. Looking for the right label, I think I finally find an orange one and add that puffy sticker to the top of it, and then add the whole thing to the photo, and just add a tiny attacher staple to finish it off. And that's just about it for this one. I feel like that blank space on the put your feet up card needs a little something else. So I look through the little chipboard pieces that I created, and I find one that has a blue TV on it, and that seems perfect since it's a photo of me watching TV. I'm going to also add a tiny attacher stapled to that, and then I can move on to the final page. So the final page has 3 photos. One is a smaller one on a 4x6 card. That again is from Mark Your Place. So I'm going to start by just adhering the photo to that, and then I'll decide what I want to do with the rest of that card. So I end up grabbing a label from the Glass Half Full kit and adding it there with a sticker that says this day. And since this is kind of how I wrap up the day, I thought that would be appropriate. I will also add another little phrase sticker that says dinner to our photo of dinner, us making dinner. I also put that on a label again just to make it stand out a bit better. And then finally on the last photo, I'm going to add one of those Ali Edwards flag stickers, again grounding it with another label. That sticker was a little bit small, so I felt like it needed a little bit more presence on that photo, and the label helps accomplish that. So I am going to come back here and talk to you in real time and walk you through everything that I've done, including the journaling. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so I went away to do the journaling, and I ended up adding a few more little bits. So I want to walk you through what it looks like so far. So here's the cover page. I just added the dates there and my kind of intentions, I guess. And then for Monday, I added a little bit. It was looking really plain. I just wanted to add a little something here to the bottom. So this is a die cut from the Mark Your Place kit. This is the top of a journaling card. I'm not sure which kit that's from. And then a stamp from the new High and Low kit. I didn't have a lot of journaling to add. There wasn't any on this first page. I just added a little journaling card that I used a circle die to cut into a circle, and then just a little word strip at the top. You saw me do all of this. I added just a few lines of journaling here and there on this page, just kind of pointing out exactly what the picture is about. Again, here, did the same thing, just a couple lines here and there of journaling. And then on the very last page, just a few more lines saying it was just kind of a normal day around here. And that's it. That is my Monday. So I will be back soon with the next day in my album.